In a world where humanity's survival depends on unraveling the secrets of an ancient alien artifact, one woman risks everything to prevent its power from falling into the wrong hands. But as she delves deeper into its mysteries, she discovers that the artifact is not just a tool. It's alive, and it has chosen her for a purpose far greater than she could have imagined. With time running out and enemies closing in, can she unlock its secrets before it's too late? Subscribe now to experience Ecliptica, the living artifact. Dr. Celine Armitage had spent years studying anomalies buried beneath Earth's surface, searching for answers to questions no one else dared to ask. Her latest expedition took her deep into the Arctic tundra, where seismic readings had revealed something extraordinary, a massive structure buried under kilometers of ice. The team worked tirelessly, drilling through layers of frozen history until they uncovered what appeared to be a crystalline monolith, shimmering with an iridescent glow. It was unlike anything humanity had ever seen, its surface etched with intricate patterns that seemed to shift when viewed from different angles. "This isn't just some relic," Celine muttered to herself as she ran her fingers over the smooth surface. "It's alive." Her assistant, Dr. Marcus Hale, approached cautiously. "Alive? That's impossible. It's just technology we don't understand." Celine shook her head. "No, Marcus. Look at it. Feel it. This thing pulses with energy, like a heartbeat." She paused, her voice dropping to a whisper. "And I think it knows we're here." As if in response, the artifact emitted a low hum, sending vibrations through the cavern. The team exchanged nervous glances, unsure whether to be awed or terrified. Back at their research facility, Celine and her team began analyzing the artifact, codenamed Ecliptica. Its composition defied all known scientific principles. Neither metal nor mineral, it seemed to exist somewhere between matter and energy. The patterns on its surface continued to shift, forming symbols that none of them recognized. "It's communicating," Celine said, staring intently at the artifact. "But in a language we don't speak." Marcus frowned. "Or maybe it's just malfunctioning." "No," Celine insisted. "This is intentional. It's trying to tell us something." Late one night, while the rest of the team slept, Celine conducted her own experiments. She placed her hand on the artifact, hoping to establish some kind of connection. To her astonishment, the moment her skin made contact, images flooded her mind. Vast landscapes filled with towering spires, skies painted in hues of gold and violet, and creatures unlike anything she'd ever imagined. "What are you showing me?" she whispered, tears streaming down her face. For the first time in her life, she felt truly insignificant, like a speck of dust adrift in an infinite cosmos. When she finally pulled her hand away, the artifact fell silent. Exhausted but exhilarated, Celine knew she had only scratched the surface of its potential. Days turned into weeks as Celine and her team worked around the clock to decipher the artifact's messages. They discovered that the symbols corresponded to mathematical equations describing complex systems, ecological balances, gravitational forces, even neural networks within living organisms. "It's teaching us," Celine explained during a briefing, "not just about itself, but about the universe, about how everything connects." But not everyone shared her enthusiasm. A military contingent assigned to oversee the project grew increasingly impatient, demanding immediate results. Their leader, Colonel Elias Drake, made no secret of his disdain for academic caution. "We didn't bring you here to philosophize," he snapped during one heated exchange. "We need weapons, Doctor. If this thing can give us an edge, then that's what we'll use it for." Celine bristled at his words. "This isn't a weapon, Colonel. It's far more valuable than that." Drake sneered. "Then prove it. Or step aside and let someone who understands real power take over." Before tensions could escalate further, alarms blared throughout the facility. Sensors detected a sudden surge of energy emanating from Ecliptica. The artifact's glow intensified, bathing the room in pulsating waves of light. "What's happening?" Marcus shouted, shielding his eyes. Celine stared in awe as the artifact projected a holographic map of Earth, overlaid with ominous red zones. "It's warning us," she said softly. Something catastrophic is coming. The red zones marked areas of severe environmental instability, melting ice caps, collapsing ecosystems, and rising sea levels. According to the projections, these changes would culminate in a global disaster within months unless drastic measures were taken. This confirms everything we feared, Celine said grimly. Climate collapse isn't just a possibility, it's inevitable, and Ecliptica knows it. Colonel Drake, however, saw an opportunity rather than a threat. If this thing can predict disasters, then it can also help us prepare for war. Imagine the advantage we'd have if we could anticipate every move our enemies make. You're missing the point, Celine snapped. This isn't about dominance. It's about survival. If we don't act now, there won't be anyone left to fight. Despite her protests, Drake ordered his men to begin extracting data from the artifact, using methods that risked destabilizing it. Celine watched helplessly as drills and lasers probed its surface, causing it to emit erratic bursts of energy. "Stop this," she pleaded. "You're going to destroy it." Drake ignored her, his focus solely on exploiting Ecliptica's power. As the artifact's hum grew louder, Celine realized they were playing with forces beyond their comprehension. The inevitable happened sooner than expected. One of the extraction tools triggered a feedback loop, causing Ecliptica to release a shockwave that knocked everyone off their feet. Lights flickered, equipment short-circuited, and the temperature in the lab plummeted. When the chaos subsided, the artifact lay dormant once more. But something had changed. The patterns on its surface no longer shifted. Instead, they formed a single, unchanging symbol, a spiral descending into darkness. "What does it mean?" Marcus asked, his voice trembling. Celine swallowed hard. "It means we've crossed a line. Whatever we did, we've angered it." Before they could process the implications, strange phenomena began occurring worldwide. Oceans boiled, skies turned black, and entire cities vanished without a trace. Governments scrambled to respond, but their efforts were futile against forces they couldn't comprehend. "They're blaming us," Celine said bitterly, watching news reports of riots and panic. "They think we unleashed this." "And maybe they're right," Marcus replied quietly. As the world descended into chaos, Celine found herself haunted by vivid visions triggered by her proximity to Ecliptica. These weren't mere hallucinations. They felt real, as though she were stepping into another reality. In one vision, she stood on a barren planet beneath twin suns, witnessing the remnants of a once thriving civilization. Towering spires crumbled into dust, and the air was thick with despair. A voice echoed in her mind, ancient and resonant. "You are the chosen one. Only you can restore balance." When Celine returned to consciousness, she was drenched in sweat, her heart racing. Marcus hovered nearby, concern etched on his face. "Are you okay? You've been unconscious for hours." "I saw something," she murmured, struggling to piece together the fragmented images. "It wasn't Earth, it was somewhere else. Somewhere destroyed." "What does that have to do with us?" Marcus asked. "Everything," Celine replied gravely. "Ecliptica isn't just warning us about Earth's collapse. It's showing me what happens when civilizations ignore the signs. If we don't act, this will be our fate." Her words sent a chill through the room. For the first time, even the most skeptical members of the team began to grasp the gravity of their situation. Determined to understand Ecliptica's purpose, Celine delved deeper into its data streams, uncovering hidden layers of information encoded within its patterns. What she discovered shocked her. A network of similar artifacts scattered across the globe, each buried in locations tied to ancient myths and legends. "These aren't isolated objects," she explained to the team. "They're part of a system designed to stabilize planetary ecosystems. But something disrupted them, silencing their connection." Colonel Drake scoffed at her findings. "More fairy tales. We need results, not stories." Ignoring him, Celine proposed a plan to reactivate the network by traveling to each artifact site. Though risky, it was humanity's only chance to reverse the growing catastrophe. Marcus hesitated. "Even if we find these sites, how do we know they'll work?" And what if someone gets there before us? We won't let that happen, Celine said firmly. This isn't just about saving Earth. It's about proving that we're worthy of survival. The journey began with the nearest artifact site, located deep within the Amazon rainforest. The terrain was treacherous, teeming with wildlife and dense vegetation that slowed their progress. Along the way, Celine experienced more visions, each offering cryptic clues about the artifact's origins and purpose. At night, she confided in Marcus. I think Ecliptica chose me for a reason. It's testing me, pushing me to understand its message. You're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, Marcus said gently. Don't forget, we're here to help. Their bond strengthened as they faced challenges together, from navigating flooded rivers to evading mercenaries hired by rival factions seeking control of the artifacts. Each step brought them closer to their goal and deeper into danger. When they finally reached the site, they uncovered a second artifact embedded in the roots of a colossal tree. Its glow harmonized with Ecliptica's, creating a resonance that vibrated through the forest. It's alive, Celine whispered, tears welling in her eyes. Just like the first one. News of their mission spread quickly, drawing both allies and adversaries. Among those who joined them was Dr. Elena Vega, an archaeologist specializing in prehistoric cultures. Her knowledge of ancient symbols proved invaluable in deciphering the artifact's messages. However, not everyone shared their altruistic goals. A shadowy organization known as Nexus Global emerged, intent on weaponizing the artifacts for profit and power. Led by the enigmatic Adrian Cross, they deployed advanced drones and operatives to intercept Celine's team at every turn. They see this as a resource to exploit, Celine told her group during a tense briefing. We can't let them succeed. Cross himself confronted Celine during a skirmish near the third artifact site in the Himalayas. You're fighting a losing battle, he sneered. Humanity is incapable of change. Better to embrace the inevitable. Celine refused to back down. If you believe that, then you're no better than the forces destroying our world. Each artifact reactivation strengthened Ecliptica's energy, stabilizing Earth's environment incrementally. However, the process grew increasingly perilous. At the fourth site, a submerged temple off the coast of Japan, Celine nearly drowned while retrieving the artifact from its watery resting place. Back aboard their vessel, she collapsed onto the deck, gasping for air. Marcus knelt beside her, gripping her hand tightly. You scared me, he admitted. Promise me you won't take risks like that again. I can't make promises I can't keep, Celine replied softly. But thank you for being here. Despite the dangers, they pressed on, driven by the hope that their efforts could still save humanity. With each success came new challenges. Natural disasters intensified, forcing evacuations and straining global resources. Public opinion turned against Celine and her team, with many blaming them for exacerbating the crisis. Even within her own ranks, doubts began to surface. How do we know we're doing the right thing? Marcus questioned during a rare moment of vulnerability. What if we're making things worse? Celine placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. We won't know unless we try. Sometimes, faith is all we have. Her resolve inspired others to continue, even as fatigue and fear threatened to overwhelm them. The fifth and final artifact lay hidden beneath the sands of the Sahara Desert, guarded by automated defenses left behind by an unknown civilization. As Celine approached, the artifact pulsed violently, sending waves of energy coursing through her body. This is it, she breathed, realizing the truth. It's not just about reactivating the network. It's about merging with it. Marcus protested vehemently.
No, Selene.
You can't sacrifice yourself. There's no other way, she insisted. Ecliptica has shown me what needs to be done. Trust me. Tears streaming down his face, Marcus relented. Then we'll do it together. Standing before the final artifact, Celine extended her hands, allowing its energy to flow into her. Visions flooded her mind, of countless worlds saved and lost, of civilizations rising and falling. She understood now. Ecliptica wasn't merely a tool. It was a guardian, tasked with preserving life across the cosmos. As the merge completed, the artifacts synchronized, forming a global web of stability. Storms calmed, oceans receded, and skies cleared. Humanity had been given a second chance. But Selene was gone, her consciousness absorbed into the network. Those who remained vowed to honor her sacrifice by protecting the fragile balance she had restored. In the aftermath of Selene's sacrifice, Earth began to heal. The skies cleared, oceans stabilized, and ecosystems slowly rebuilt themselves. Yet, the scars of the catastrophe remained, a stark reminder of humanity's fragility and hubris. Cities once ravaged by storms and floods became symbols of resilience as survivors worked together to rebuild. Dr. Marcus Hale emerged as a key figure in this new era, dedicating his life to ensuring that Selene's legacy endured. He founded the Global Restoration Initiative, GRI, an organization tasked with monitoring Ecliptica's network and safeguarding the planet's delicate balance. "We owe her everything," Marcus said during a memorial speech for Selene. "She gave us a second chance, but it's up to us to make sure we don't squander it." The world listened. Nations set aside their differences, pooling resources and knowledge to create sustainable solutions. Renewable energy replaced fossil fuels, reforestation projects flourished, and education systems emphasized ecological responsibility. For the first time in centuries, humanity acted as stewards of the earth rather than exploiters. Yet, beneath the surface, tensions simmered. Some factions, corporations, governments, and rogue scientists sought to harness Ecliptica's power for personal gain. They argued that such advanced technology should not remain untapped, even if it risked destabilizing the fragile equilibrium. Adrian Cross, leader of Nexus Global, resurfaced years later, more determined than ever to claim Ecliptica's secrets. Though publicly discredited after Selene's success, he had spent years rebuilding his empire in secret, recruiting disillusioned scientists and mercenaries who believed humanity needed control, not harmony. Cross launched a covert operation to infiltrate one of the artifact sites, hoping to reverse-engineer its mechanisms. His ultimate goal was clear: to use Ecliptica's network as a weapon, reshaping the planet according to his vision of order. Marcus received intel about Cross's plans from an unlikely source, Dr. Elena Vega, who had gone undercover within Nexus Global after growing disillusioned with their methods. "He's planning something big," Elena warned during a clandestine meeting. "If he succeeds, everything Selene fought for will be undone." Determined to stop him, Marcus assembled a team of trusted allies, including former members of Selene's expedition. Together, they prepared for a final confrontation, knowing that failure would mean the end of all they had achieved. The showdown took place at the Arctic site where Ecliptica had first been discovered. Nexus Global's forces arrived in droves, armed with cutting-edge weaponry designed to breach the artifact's defenses. Marcus and his team fought valiantly, using guerrilla tactics and makeshift barricades to hold their ground. As the battle raged, Marcus confronted Cross inside the cavern housing Ecliptica. The artifact pulsed erratically, reacting to the chaos unfolding around it. "You don't understand what you're dealing with," Marcus shouted, blocking Cross's path. "This isn't just a tool. It's alive." Cross sneered, raising a device intended to override Ecliptica's systems. "Then I'll teach it obedience." Before he could activate the device, a surge of energy erupted from Ecliptica, knocking both men off their feet. The artifact's glow intensified, filling the cavern with blinding light. Visions flooded Marcus's mind, images of Selene, standing amidst stars, urging him to act. Summoning every ounce of courage, Marcus lunged forward, destroying the device before Cross could recover. Defeated but defiant, Cross retreated, vowing to return another day. With Nexus Global's threat neutralized, for now, the GRI redoubled its efforts to protect Ecliptica's network. New protocols were implemented, ensuring that access to the artifacts remained restricted to those committed to preserving balance. Elena Vega joined the initiative full-time, bringing her expertise in ancient cultures to decode additional messages embedded within the artifacts. Her work revealed startling insights. Ecliptica's creators had faced similar challenges, ultimately failing because they prioritized control over cooperation. Their mistakes are warnings, Elena explained during a presentation. We must learn from them if we want to avoid repeating history. Inspired by these revelations, communities worldwide embraced a philosophy of unity and sustainability. Schools taught children about Selene's sacrifice, instilling values of empathy and environmental stewardship. Artifacts became symbols of hope, enshrined in museums and public spaces as reminders of humanity's potential for greatness. Years passed, and Marcus grew older, his hair streaked with gray. Though retired from active fieldwork, he remained a guiding voice within the GRI, mentoring younger generations of scientists and activists. One evening, while reviewing archival footage of Selene, Marcus experienced a vision unlike any he'd felt before. He found himself standing on a distant planet, bathed in golden light. Before him stood Selene, smiling warmly. "You've done well," she said, her voice echoing softly. "But your journey isn't over yet." "What do you mean?" Marcus asked, awestruck. "There are others out there, worlds on the brink of collapse. They need guardians too." As the vision faded, Marcus realized the truth. Ecliptica's network extended beyond Earth, connecting countless planets across the galaxy. Humanity's role was far greater than he had imagined. Under Marcus's guidance, the GRI expanded its mission, sending expeditions to explore other worlds connected to Ecliptica's network. These missions uncovered civilizations struggling with their own crises, offering opportunities for collaboration and mutual growth. Among the explorers was Lyra Armitage, Selene's niece, who dedicated her life to following in her aunt's footsteps. Gifted with a natural affinity for deciphering alien languages, Lyra quickly rose through the ranks, becoming a beacon of hope for interstellar diplomacy. Her first major breakthrough came when she brokered peace between two warring species on a distant moon. Using lessons learned from Earth's recovery, she demonstrated how cooperation could lead to prosperity. "Selene showed us the way," Lyra declared during a ceremony honoring her achievements. "Now it's our turn to carry the torch." Decades later, humanity stood transformed, not just as caretakers of Earth, but as ambassadors of the cosmos. Through Ecliptica's network, they forged alliances with countless species, sharing knowledge and resources to ensure the survival of all life. Though Selene was long gone, her spirit lived on in the hearts of those who carried her legacy. Statues of her adorned cities across the galaxy, not as monuments to a hero, but as reminders of what could be achieved through courage, compassion, and unity. As Lyra gazed upon one such statue during a visit to a newly colonized planet, she smiled, feeling a deep sense of pride. Humanity had come so far, yet there was still so much to discover. "The universe is vast," she whispered to herself, "and we've only begun to scratch the surface." With that thought, she boarded her ship, ready to embark on her next adventure. The stars awaited, brimming with infinite possibilities. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey through mystery and survival. If you enjoyed Ecliptica, the living artifact, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on our next adventure. Your support keeps the story alive.